DJ Dewey Rock on the track.
Welcome to Emerge Podcast 360. I'm your host, Maserati. We got a great show lined up for you. We want to thank you for tuning in, no matter where you are in this metaverse world. This is being brought to you by 720 Gamers Group, Burchell Family Insurance Agency, and Northeast Louisiana Counseling. This is Beyond the Game with number 22, Xavier Robinson. We want to thank you once again, no matter where you are. We want to thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter thus far. We have a very special guest on the show with us. He's a legendary running back for the Bastrop Rams. He has a true story, and I wish the parents and all the kids would get around and listen to it. It's about the wear and tear and the desire of a young man to run the football and be all he could be. We're talking about none other than, most of you all know him as the X-Man, Xavier Robinson. He is the oldest of 6 siblings, a graduate of Bastrop High School in 2012. He was an all-state selection in 2012, first team all-district in 2-4A in 2012, and he was a member of the all-Northeast Louisiana first team all-star team. It's known that he holds the junior high rushing record for Morehouse Junior High in Bastrop, Louisiana. People get this, 3,500 plus rushing yards, 55 TDs, and that's all during the 7th and 8th grade. You can check out his YouTube highlights on the profile on Facebook. But injuries would hinder this young man. He only played 25 high school games where he only carried the ball 196 times, where he ended up with 1,444 yards, 15 receptions for 132 yards, and that's after 3 knee surgeries. He would go on to sign with Arkansas Baptist University in 2012, where he would go on to try to play for the Texas Rangers, where he was in camp in baseball training and batting camp with the Texas Rangers in 2014, where he would find out that his knees were those of an NFL player of 10 years at the age of 22. He's currently a salesman with Little Debbie Snack Cakes, and you can check out the captions in the photos. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. X-Man, number 22, Xavier Robinson. How you doing, X-Man?
I'm doing good. What about you,
Oh, bro, we're glad to have you on. A remarkable story. I taught you in junior high, and I watched you run some of those touchdowns and for all those yards. Kind of tell the people about how you grew up and, bro, how your desire was to carry that number 22 from what you heard about it coming up as a young man.
Oh, man, it was an honor. Like I said, I grew up on the west side part of town off Peary Street. Man, my first sport was baseball. I was introduced to baseball as a little kid, and up along in there, I had Coach Quickly Trouter. He seen me running bases at the park, and he seen I was a pretty fast kid, so he pulled me to the side and asked, have I ever thought about playing football? And I had told him no, so he spoke to my mom, talked to sign me up for City League. And, man, he drafted me with the first pick over at the City League to play running back for the Falcons.
Yeah, so, that's something people don't really think about, the wear and tear just in peewee football. But, you're the oldest of 6 siblings, and you're trying to live up, R.I.P. to your father, Greg Woods, who class of 93, who wore that number 44. But it was that special number 22, you coming up playing peewee football and heading to junior high. You heard a lot of stories about that 22. Who were some of those people that you remember that wore that 22 that you looked up to?
I heard about John Tappan, Jimmy Turner, and my cousin Marcus Sawyer.
Right. What were they saying about those guys that, a lot of people thought that you were the forthcoming of those guys?
Yeah, man, I heard they were legends. later on, after I started winning at 22 in high school, of course, Marcus, I heard about Marcus. He was my kinfolk. I knew about him signing over to Kentucky and being an all-star over there at Bastrop. John Tappan and Jimmy Turner, a little bit before my time, but I pretty much heard stories about John Tappan going to the NFL and Jimmy Turner being a heck of an athlete.
Right. You know, Xavier, let's kind of let the people know what was pushing you as a youth. You was quite athletic. You had that speed. Your dad was quite speedy himself, and you guys had that short stature. What was pushing you? Was it your short stature that made you just want to be a bully on the field?
Man, honestly, old man, I grew up in over there in Forest Park, and I had an older uncle, Briscoe Robinson, and he had a lot of friends like Mario Bushell, my cousin Marche Green, and all those guys. I used to be out there as a young kid playing in the park, playing football with them, and they roughed me up a little bit. So growing up, man, I had already had the ego that I couldn't be stopped, because after a while playing with them guys, I started getting yards on those guys playing sandlot football. And, man, I knew I was something special then. So pretty much anybody my age, I really felt like they couldn't do nothing with me. So and that's the mindset I took on the field, man. And it worked for me. I knew I was going to be undersized dealing with the height wise, but I qualified in the weight class. I always had a problem with the weight class coming up through Pee Wee. I couldn't play running back because I weighed too much. So, man, that was pretty much it, man. And by me being low to the ground, man, it was real hard to deal with.
Right. We know you had that low sense of gravity, being at 5'7", and you had those stout legs. When we come back after this intermission, we want you to take the people back to the 7th and 8th grade and kind of tell them how it was and how tenacious and how hard was it for you looking back on it when you came up through the 7th and 8th grade. When we come back from this intermission, it's the X-Man number 22 himself, Xavier Robinson, when we return. Welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Stepping Stones LLC of Jonesboro, Louisiana. We're still here with the X-Man, Xavier Robinson. X-Man, take us back to the 7th, 8th grade when you was running for all those yards, sometimes twice in the same week and twice on the same night. Take us back, X.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, I got when I was in the 6th grade, man, I had the pleasure of Coach Thaxton. You had him on your show a couple weeks ago. I was at H.B. Adams, and at the time at the junior high, they was going through their spring practices, and Coach Thaxton, he was going over to coach at the junior high at the time. He was telling a coach by the name Coach Strop about me, how he used to watch me on the playground at school, play football. He told me I was a fast kid and catch. So, man, they invited me over for the spring over in the junior high while I was still in the 6th grade. And I pretty much suited up with them during the spring over there. And, man, from the first day I touched the field over there, man, I was a force to be reckoned with over there. So, by that time during the summer, man, I was named the starter for the 7th grade running back and the 8th grade running back. Man, I had some of the best times over there playing football at the junior high school. Man, sometimes, man, I know 7th grade game, I make a rush for almost 200 yards a night. Then I take about a 30-minute break, play with the 8th grade, man, rush for almost another 150, 200 yards. Probably in the night sometimes for 5 touchdowns between both games. And, man, at the time, me or my parents, we didn't know nothing about the wear and tear on the body that they was causing on me. So, man, I was basically the glue of the team, man. I was real good, and they depended on my athleticism a lot. And man, I ran a lot over there.
Right, like you say, looking back on it, and people, this is a true story of Xavier Robinson. When he tell you guys, he was a phenomenon, like Jimmy Turner, John Tappan, and Marcus Sawyer. That it was a tradition about this number 22 from the 80s to the 90s. If you came up in that era rather, and the things that Xavier put his body through the 7th and 8th grade, without the knowledge of knowing about, like he say, the wear and tear of the body, is an extreme thing, and we need to take this thing serious. As Xavier shared story. Now, Xavier, explain to the people some of the pain you was going through at that age that you did not tell your parents about.
Well, yeah, at that age, man, I had a lot of body aches from running the ball, playing 4 games a week. But I was tough, man. I was a tough kid, so when nothing bothered me to the extreme to where I go tell my mom that I was sore. So, man, I go back out. We'll play on a Tuesday. Man, I run for almost 300 yards a night and go back that Wednesday. We'll have a little walkthrough practice, man. Practice real hard. Sometimes we had on pads, sometimes we didn't. Come back Thursday, do it all over again, man. And like I said, man, I was real tough, and I felt like I'd been a crybaby if I went and told my mom my body was sore. So, man, I pretty much kept it to myself.
Right, Zay. Now, you were a kid. You didn't know. As parents, we were just thrilled to see our kids doing the things that they do. But when you look back on it, what was it really needed for you to play 7th and 8th grade? Was it the desire for the coaches to win? Was it some type of pressure on the coaches during that era? Or what do you feel like that just drove them to play a kid in the 7th and 8th grade 4 times?
Man, to be honest with you, man, I think at the time, bachelor football, we was at our highs. Between the high school to junior high school, we basically, man, ran 165 down out 20, man, and it was a desire for us to win. And me looking back on it, man, I was just a kid out there having fun. Man, getting the excitement and enjoyment out of punishing the other team, man. Like I say, man, I just love to play ball. So I really wasn't even thinking about it at the time, about what it was causing harm towards my body.
When you look at having fun and you look at you being a bruiser and your style of play, did you play defense as well when you was in junior high school?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I think, man, I was a real good linebacker. Man, like I say, if I had been a little taller, man, I probably could have went pro playing linebacker, man. Like I say, man, I was just an all-around athlete, man, including returning punts. Man, I returned kickoff returns. Man, I even kicked the ball, man. I pretty much did everything over there.
You know, when I heard when I was teaching over there, I remember I heard the stats and the congratulations to you about your accolades when you were getting ready to go on to the freshman, go to high school, rather. And it was kind of, wow. But then I found out that you was doing this in the 7th and 8th grade. It was like, no, why? Xavier, just be honest. Now that you know what concussions are, how many you think you had just in the 7th and 8th grade alone?
Probably 7th, 8th grade, I probably had one. But I know for sure, man, in high school, I had at least 3.
Wow. So through all that, what ailments were you having, like just say junior high? What were you feeling like at school? Did you ever feel dizzy or nauseated or just worn down, body just ached all the time, couldn't focus in class, anything like that?
No, man, pretty much, man. I was real smart, man. I was smart in class, but it was mostly my body, man. And like I say, man, I'd be tired, but man, I sucked it up, man. And on top of that, man, I played travel baseball too, man. So, man, I was playing 2 sports most of the time, with me still putting up those numbers and running the ball like that in junior high.
So playing baseball, so you're saying you were playing baseball and doing football activities during the same season sometimes. What position were you playing? What position were you playing in baseball? That may have effect on what you'll find out later about your knees and your body as well.
Well, one of the positions I played in baseball was back catcher. And I figured out as I got older, that was pretty bad on my knees also. If I knew, I'd never back catch. Like I said, man, I was all around in baseball too, man. I pretty much played every position, except for first base and pitch, man, during my time playing baseball.
Right, so you're very athletic. Now that you look back on it, we just talking about junior high. Now that you have a son, Xavier Jr., what are some of the things that you would share with parents just from the Pee Wee to the junior high level? Would you allow your son to play Pee Wee football, or would you monitor his activities in his sport and play?
Yeah, man, I monitor his activities, man. Like I said, if he ever wanted to play football, and man, from Pee Wee to junior high, I definitely monitor the snaps that he get, man, and monitor the number of touches he get a game. Man, I'd be real strict about that with my boy. I kind of learned the hard way. Me and my parents, we didn't know. Man, my mom looked at it, man. Her son was real good. And, man, we was just having fun. My mom enjoyed traveling, dealing with the different sports, man. So, man, I definitely monitor his snaps, man.
Right. Well, Xavier, you were prominent to be that guy where, even beyond your size, people felt like you could probably be that one. It was just in 7th and 8th grade, like you say, you knew you was a special kid. When we come back, we want you to share about when you finally, your body started wearing down, headed into high school, the things you start feeling and the things your body started going through. When we return, we're with Strop City Baller. It's the X-Man, Xavier Robinson, after this intermission. Welcome back to Emerge Podcast 360. This is being brought to you by Involved Social and Civic Club, where we understand the social and civic need of love, learn, live, and laugh. We're still here with the X-Man, Xavier Robinson. X-Man, after all the body been through Pee Wee, 7th and 8th grade, it's time to put on that shine in high school. It's your freshman year. What happened, Zay?
Man, I went over there my freshman year, man. Like I say, man, I always played with older guys, man. So, man, that summer out there practicing, man, I seen I was pretty much faster than most of the varsity players, if not on the same level with some of the faster players, man, on the team. And like I said, man, me being cocky, the mentality that I had, man, I knew I was better. I was better than most of the guys that was on the varsity team. So, man, I'll never forget it. The varsity players, they was going on a 7-on-7 tournament at OCS. And, man, I wanted to go so bad. So, man, I went and knocked on Coach Brad Bradshaw's door, man, and asked him, could I go? And, man, he kind of looked at me at first and was like, man, this kid bold. So, man, if anybody know Coach Bradshaw, been too many kids go to his office to speak with him, and for me to go knock on the door and ask. So, man, he gave me the okay to go with the varsity, and that was the day, man, I received the number 22. And I went down to Monroe. Man, I scored a touchdown at 7-on-7, man, with the varsity players, man. From that day forward, man, I was never a part of the freshman team.
Man, so as a freshman, you dressing out straight varsity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Were you getting into PT on the varsity level as a freshman?
Yeah, man. I was getting a lot of playing time, and man, at the time we had a scrimmage at West Monroe. At the time, man, those guys were real big. They had a lot of boys, and that was going on play for LSU, TCU, and all that. Man, went out there for a scrimmage. Man, I pretty much, man, I stood up to all those guys that were signing those big scholarships, man. And, man, I earned the respect from the coaching staff. And later on, man, we had a couple injuries at running back. And, man, I filled in, man. I never looked back since.
Right. So, your freshman year, you get ample playing time. But what happened with the body during your freshman year?
Well, my freshman bout, I say about the fourth game of the year, man. It was a routine run play, man, and I stuck my foot in the ground and made a cut. And man, I felt a sharp pain at the bottom of my foot, man. And come to find out, I ended up cracking the bone at the bottom of my big toe, man. And man, I went on ahead, man. I missed probably about 7 to 8 weeks dealing with that injury, man.
So you didn't get to play. How many games you think you played your freshman year?
Played about 3.5, 4 games my freshman year.
So that injury pretty much put you out of your freshman year.
Yep.
So you recuperate. Did you play the baseball that summer?
Yeah, actually I did, Odom. I played baseball that summer. And it was with my little league team at the time, man. We was down in Gonzales, Louisiana, man. And, man, I was so dedicated to, man, I had my mom and my stepfather, man. I'd go down there, play a baseball game. After that baseball game, man, we'd hit the road, have me back at home, man, for morning practice, football practice, man. And I'd do my workout with the football. And then, man, we'll leave back out and go back towards Gonzales, man. Man, like I said, I was real dedicated, man.
And you had that support too. That where you can't say that you didn't have support. You had your mom, you had your family, your brothers and younger sisters and brothers were looking up to you. It was a family thing. I know about it. And it's hard to kind of gauge it. Like, it's no wrong or right in the matter, but when it's time. When it counts, when it started to count,
mm-hmm.
You on the radar. People were looking at you in the 7th to 8th grade, so it was already known that you probably could have been a 4-star letterman from freshman all the way through your senior year. But what happened after the recuperation from playing summer baseball, then coming back for summer football?
Like I said, man, I finished my freshman year, And going into the spring of my sophomore year in high school, man, I had a strong spring, strong summer. Like I said, I was pretty much gonna be the number one running back that year also. So man, we had a spring scrimmage once again, and man, I ran a normal swing route out the backfield, and basically I was a decoy on that play. So one of the offensive linemen, man, he ended up being drove in the backfield, and man, they fell on my knee, man. I tore my MCL.
So that was the end of the sophomore career, of the sophomore season.
Yeah, pretty much the sophomore season. Like I say, man, I missed. It was the week right before the regular season started, and man, I missed about 6-7 games with a grade 2 MCL sprain, man. So pretty much killed my sophomore season also.
You know, we look back on Xavier, you know, now that what we know about health and fitness, you never really gave the body an opportunity to recuperate.
To heal.
Muscles stayed broken down. They never were able to heal. And as time go on, you have wear and tear and strains and things of that nature and fractures that we play through. We all do it. But this light that was on you, according to some of your coaches, they say, well, you one of the smartest guys on the team when it came to knowing the offense and knowing the defense. What happens your junior year, Xavier? What happens then?
Well, man, like I said, man, my junior year, man, I came back at the time. The doctor, I seen a specialist in Monroe, man. He told me that I wasn't gonna need any surgery. Man, he told me the cartilage in my knee, everything was fine. So, leading up going into my junior year, which was my senior year, I did 3 years of high school also, man. I graduated a year. So I got it down to the spring, and man, I was playing, and my knee started swelling on me. So, man, they told me, I went back, they told me, man, they said, cartilage in your knee, man, it's kind of ripped up, so, man, we're going to have to do a knee procedure on you. So, man, I asked them what was the timetable by me because I knew time was ticking, man, and they just trying to earn me a scholarship, man, go on to college and play football. So, told me that it'd have been a 4-week process, rehab and everything. So, man, they clamped my knee out. So, man, I came back, and we going into fall camp then. So, man, I made a normal routine cut again also. And then in my right knee, I ended up tearing my cartilage up, man, in my right knee that fall.
Man. Well, I just want to read to the people about out of Basketball Daily Enterprise, one of the articles. You stayed in the press, bro. This is one of your coaches said, when he sees a certain defensive front, he has a good idea of what to expect. Besides having his 2 previous varsity seasons cut short by injuries, Robinson found himself playing behind the dynamic Rodriguez Moore last year. His determination to stay healthy and contribute during his final season were evident over the summer. I wasn't here last year, but Xavier was in a situation where he was playing behind Rodriguez and had to wait his turn, Keller said. He's a good example to a lot of young kids. If you will be patient and keep working, you can take full advantage of it when your time comes. Robinson's attitude and dependability have worked in his favor. Say, when we come back, we want to talk about this knee injuries these injuries that you have in your junior year, and you fight through them to go on to have and play your senior year without cause and without problems and without issues, but you decided you're going to fight on through it. We want you to share the people about your determination and how you fought through that pain your senior year to go on to go to Arkansas Baptist. We'll be right back with Xavier Robinson, the X-Man, when we return. We're back. We're still here with the X-Man, Xavier Robinson. Xavier, just tell him about you fought through these injuries from your freshman all the way through your junior year. You're finally feeling healthy, but you fight through it to have your senior year. What's going through your mind your senior year, Zay? Do you feel like that scholarship slipping away?
Yeah, man, I did, man. I feel like time's ticking off. So, man, my sophomore season, being invited to camps like, man, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, man, Missouri. Even, man, I got mail from Oregon, the Oregon Ducks, man. They wanted me to come up there to one of their camps to evaluate me a little bit more. Man, like I said, I spent those three years with injuries, man. Piggyback off what you said, what you asked me, man. I was basically an offensive coordinator out there on the field, man. I had a lot of time getting mental reps, man, in meeting with the coaches, going out to practice, still help my teammates when I was hurt, knowing the offense, knowing everything, man, dealing with the defensive fronts and the different looks that I get. So, man, my senior year, man, I was prepared. I was smart. I knew I could beat the game playing at 70% of being healthy, man. And I knew I had to be smart in order to get through my senior year just to see can I get healthy enough, man, to get my scholarship, man. So came back my senior year. The first 3 weeks of the season, man, I was kind of still slow picking up, man, because I was still dealing with knee soreness. So, man, when the knee soreness finally went away, I think it was week 4, man, I played Ravel. And, man, that was my breakout game. Like I said, throughout my whole high school career, man, I never played 100%. And I always dealing with an injury of some, so, man, I had a good year. So I got about to week 7 or week 8. I ended up having a strain of oblique muscle, where it's almost like a core muscle, but it's more on the towards the rib cage. So, man, it was painful to run, painful to move, and, man, I still battled through that, man. I ended up finishing my senior year with almost 900 yards and 15 touchdowns, while all probably being 70% healthy.
Right, and we're going to read another snippet of Coach Keller speaking about you. If you tell him he needs to change his footwork on a certain play, he's going to change it. He works hard. Although Robinson had a breakout game 2 weeks ago with a 22 carry, 147-yard effort against Raver, his real value to the Rams can't be measured in the numbers alone. We have a lot of guys you can run the football, but not one really understands the pass protection and everything works like Xavier does. Keller said he's known this offense inside and out. Robinson was a very versatile player. Zay, so from what I'm getting from watching you and listening to Coach Keller, you knew that you didn't have that burst anymore that you had in 7th, 8th grade. But you use your smarts to maneuver and compensate for those needs. What was it like for Xavier Robinson to study film to make sure that he can be in the right place to try to stay healthy?
Man, it was really important, man. I had to take advantage of that more than anything else because, man, for so long throughout my whole career, man, my athleticism, man, I was one of the chosen ones, man. I was blessed, man. Man, most of the time it was just my athleticism, man. You know, you tell me what to do. I was always smart, so, man, I knew the playbook. Like I said, man, I learned the different shades of the defensive lineman. That was the first, you know, thing that I needed to learn. So if they was in a shade, whether they was in the A gap, they was lined up, head up with the center, man, and I knew I had to read their body language, man. And once I mastered it, man, it was real easy, man. Cutting through the holes if I needed to cut back. I knew when to cut back. I was basically, like I said, man, I basically was a coach out there playing. And, man, they got me over the hump to get through my senior year.
Right. And, you know, Coach Keller, he goes on and on. Everything you just said, I'm reading it in the article. He said the very same thing about regardless of your knee surgeries, you was pretty much a coach on the field. He said Xavier's a savvy football player. Basketball offensive coordinator and running backs coach Tommy Keller said you can make subtle changes with him. You can line him up on the right side or a certain play one week. If you need to make a change because of the defense alignment, we can line him up on the left side on the same play the next week, and we know, and he will know exactly what to do. Zay, you know, you fought through a lot, bro, and you tried to live up to that hype, and you endured a lot, and you fought through, and you went on through that senior year. In the back of your mind, are you thinking you still can get a scholarship through it all, or were you like, it might be over?
No, I didn't think it would be over. I thought I could get a scholarship, man. And what I was banking on, man, it was just instilled in me, man, not to never give up. I don't care if it was, you know, working a job. I don't care if it was schoolwork, man. My mom, she was pretty strong, man. She instilled that in me. And also, man, my dad, man, my dad's side of the family, man, they some hard-working people, man, smart, man. So it was already in me, you know, to be strong. And I'll never forget, man, I was playing Little League baseball. I don't mean to get off subject. I struck out, and I cried. And my mom pulled me to the side, told me if I ever cry again, she won't never let me play because boys don't cry. And, man, that stuck with me. So, man, and I always had faith. So, only thing I was worried about, just give me a shot. You know, I knew what I was capable of doing. I just needed one shot, man. And Arkansas Baptist, they gave me that opportunity.
Right. When you got to Arkansas Baptist, what was it? Did you fit the offensive scheme, or was it still those areas?
Yeah. Man, when I got there, like I say, I got down there, man, I was faster than all of them. Pretty much smart. Was bigger than most of the running backs. Weight-wise, you know, it was some taller than me. Probably about 205 pounds. So, man, it was a routine day, man. We was at practice once again. We was running sprints. And, man, I came off real strong, man. I ended up pulling my hamstring, man. So, that's what happened to me down there in Arkansas.
And well, you did you transfer? What other schools did you try to attend after Arkansas Baptist?
Man, I transferred to Arkansas Monticello for a while. And, like I said, I got there, like I said, man, I was just gifted, man. I was better than they running backs that was on scholarship. And I ended up getting in a situation down there, man. Like I say, my body was, you know, pretty much aching. Man, it was hard on me. So, man, I decided to transfer to Grambling, you know. Man, just to get my schoolwork on, man. I probably had hopes of joining the football team down there at Grambling.
But in the process, you just knew that the knees couldn't take it anymore, and you went on. You I know you came out there while I was out there in Texas, and you came out there and you got with Tulane Sawyer Bay. Kind of tell the people about that next opportunity. You beyond football, how you went beyond yourself and tried to recapture some of your athletic ability, trying out for the Texas Rangers.
Oh man. First of all, I want to give thanks to Tulane Sawyer Bay, man. The 720 Gamers Consulting Group, man. They gave me another chance, another hope down there when I got to Texas. Actually, I was supposed to be going down there to train for football and try to go to a junior college so I can get my body time enough to heal and man, get in contact with more, better doctors. And so, man, I was at Tulane's house, and Tulane came to me. He was like, man, I heard you was a real good baseball player. I was like, yeah, Lance, man, I'm a beast, man. I was a beast at it. I just could never play in high school because I was always dealing with an injury from football. So Lance said, man, what if you had the opportunity to play in the minor leagues for the Texas Rangers? Would you do it? I said, yeah, I'll do it. And Lance knew it was a move for me because of what all my body went through. But being a baseball player, man, you have a longer life of playing that sport than football. So, man, I woke up the next morning. Man, Lance told me, come on, man, I got the Texas Ranger hitting coach waiting on you, man. We finna go meet him. And, man, that was my next opportunity, man, to try to make a career out of playing sports.
So what happened with the Texas Rangers? I remember you was on actually Fox Sports. You did an interview and they was talking about you training with the hitting coach. What ended up happening on that scenario?
Like I said, man, the head coach, Danny Jordan, man, the first day I went out there to train with him, man, I was running. He knew I was fast. I was strong. I had a good arm. So, man, I ended up training with him for probably 6 months. And I went to a minor league game, man, and it was like it clicked for me. It was simple. Even out there watching old guys in the minor league, once again, man, I knew I was better than most of the old guys that was out there in the minor league. So, man, I was 2 months out from making my debut, man, of playing in my first minor league game. Man, once again, my body didn't held up, man. I was making a routine throw, and I threw the Tommy John ligament in my elbow. If people familiar with the ligament in your elbow.
Right. So when you had that injury, you started seeing specialists about other ailments going on with your body. Once they start doing the MRIs and the CAT scans on your body, tell the people what you found out after the elbow injury about your knees at the age of 22.
Man, they pretty much. Man, I had knees like I had already had a 10-year NFL career, man.
And people, this is why I wanted to have Xavier on here, because I got firsthand to see his determination, and this is a true story about him with the hitting coach with the minor league farm club with the Texas Rangers and having the opportunity, and his body just broke down, and everything showed on these MRIs and CAT scans and things of that nature once he started seeing better doctors, to say, specialists, and to find out that this young man at the age of 22, the X-Man number 22, knees were already that of someone that had played in the NFL for 10 years, was heartbreaking. It was real heartbreaking to know that he was gone and out of the opportunity before he even started dating all the way back to junior high. Xavier, share with the people, now that you look back on it, what would the X-Man most definitely do different in his life?
Man, me, what I've done different, man, I probably pretty much told my mom about the injuries. You know, man, you want to be a man, be tough, you know, and you want to play. So in order to play, you kind of hid stuff. So, man, I pretty much hid certain injuries from my mom. And, man, I think that's about the only thing that I would have changed. Like, I don't regret the career I had over there. You know, I had fun doing it. But, man, like I say, man, if what I know now, I wouldn't have ran that much.
Right. It's just, Zay, every time we talk about it, I know you helped me when we was doing the travel football team with the Basket Baby Rams, and everything these coaches said about you in these articles. You know, you and I used to sit up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just wanted, I don't know if you ever know it, but I appreciate you during those times when you was helping me do something that I desired to do with the kids, with the Basket Baby Rams travel football team, team. And I wanted to let the people know that your smarts and how you was able to take those plays and make it relatable to the kids. And they was able still to learn the different formations. Maybe not the terminology, but you made it so fun to them calling the plays SpongeBob and Superman and Batman and the formations you came up with, bro. I just know that being an offensive coordinator, coach, is somewhere in your calling down the road. What you think about that, Xavier? You was given that opportunity.
Man, to be honest with you, I done thought about it plenty of times into going in coaching. But, man, it's something to me, just my ideal of it. The time, if I do decide to do it, I want to give my all, 100%, man. And I know it's a lot of responsibilities with being a coach, man. You ain't just a coach to them. You're going to be basically their father, a male figure to look up to. So, man, it's a lot of stuff to deal with. But, man, honestly, I thought about it to be in my next career, helping out the younger generations, man. Like I say, even a lot of people don't realize it, man. I had 2 brothers that come up, play at Bassett. Man, I got one brother. He was ranked real high, dealing with baseball factory. I basically trained my brothers, man, since they was 3. So basically, I done coached up two kids already, and I pretty much know what to take. Both of them was good athletes, and I got one brother. He still he enrolled at Grambling, and he's trying out for the baseball team down there. From my understanding, he got to pick up a little weight, and he'll pretty much make the team. Man, he was ranked in the top 300 kids in the whole nation. We're playing with baseball factory. So, man, I know it's in me. I know I can teach them. I can pretty much relate to any kid. You know, whether, you know, they can take hollering, whether you got to pull them to the side and talk to them and coach them. And, of course, with the Baby Rams, man, that was a tryout for me. And, man, I enjoyed coaching the Baby Rams with you. And I knew if I can teach those 7 and 8 and 9-year-olds, you got to have more patience. And I can pretty much teach at any level. So I know one day I may look into it, but I just have to make my mind up to do it.
Well, Xavier, bro, I appreciate you coming on and sharing this story, and I hope a lot of the youth and your generation that got kids coming up now that's participating in Pee Wee sports and junior high sports, take your story into consideration, bro. I think you can write a book about it. That's a real story that you share about those yards, and I don't want people looking his photos on Facebooks in the captions on this advertisement on Facebook. You can look at his face on some of the pictures, how worn he was, especially you guys will see on his video, his reel that'll come out tomorrow at lunchtime. You can see the worn down in his face, but he got up every time and he made that move to push for that dream. Zay, bro, we appreciate you, bro, and we wish you on the best and all your endeavors. Anything you want to tell the youth before we get out of here?
Man, to the youth, like I say, man, the first thing, man, your attitude, man. Have a good attitude. That'll get you a long ways in life, from sports to jobs, to different opportunities, man. And always be a person that can be, talked to. Don't take it personally if you messing up or someone getting on to you. Man, I'm a witness, man. Being on hard, man, it's a good thing, man, to the youth, man. I know I can tell you that. Even right now, with the career that I'm in, man, I'm dedicated. I get up early, man, go to work. Even being a father, being a man also, man, that'll get you a long ways, man. Hard working attitude, man, and the rest of it'll fall in place for them.
Well, we want to thank you, bro, and we hope to see you real soon. Hey, that's been the X-Man, Xavier Robinson, the last of the greats of the number 22. Hey, I'm your host, Maserati. This has been brought to you by Involved Social and Civic Club, where we understand the social and civic needs of love, learn, live, and laugh. Until next time, y'all stay involved, y'all stay encouraged, and most of all, y'all stay immersed. We out of this thing.
Yeah. I was disappointed, that ain't changed my hope. I've been telling my story, took me as a joke. Sat down in my car and wrote this in my notes. I can't wait for the future, think I'm finna blow. Man, I'm finna ball. Little nigga with heart, they respected my cause. You ain't get the picture, just look on the wall. Don't care about the fame, just put me in that hall. Thankful for the love, if it come with the hate. I know that you watching, that's giving me faith. Energy ain't too good, you can stay out the way. I'm cool being distant, like 6 feet of space. I climb to the top, and I swear it get lonely. Really miss my money, sliding with my homie. Or playing with Junior, he asked for my phone. He say MVP, can you please play your song? I'm gonna make you proud so you smile at your baby. The vision got clear, so I'm dream chasing daily. Don't care about the time, just don't like the waste. Can't go to the bottom, I can't hit the pavement. I can't let you start. No, I got a champion, I shine like a star. I make it look easy, I feel like I'm charged. I ain't for the sky, cause my mama had faith and my whole family knew that she had birth to start. I got in the game and I wasn't looking back, man. I had to go dumb and I feel like Drake Carr. I did used to hoop and I really had game. I still can't believe that I shine with these bars. I knew I could make it, big bro said you different, just do what you do. You gon' take it far. I told him them facts and whatever I do, just know if I do it, I gotta go hard. Yeah, man, I gotta go hard.